Welcome, Karen. Hello.
Hello, how are you? How's everybody? Happy
Outstanding.
Friday and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely. Welcome to our talk today. We're going to do consulting or order taking with Karen Briggs. She is a marketer that writes. And I'm going to give ourselves 1 minute to let the rest of the family join the call. Give me 1 minute and we'll get to it. Good day, good morning to you, and welcome. I'm your host and facilitator, Dr. Alwanda Bennett. I am here with the lovely and esteemed Karen Briggs. She's a marketer that writes. And earlier this morning, she was talking to us about writing for success. And she has more information for us, and I'm really excited to talk to her today. Uh, Karen, if you'd be willing to, will you tell everyone a little bit about yourself so they can know uh, not only the best way to reach you, but tell us what you're good at?
Well, I call myself a marketing consultant who writes because my background is actually marketing and sales. And I've always been a writer in one capacity or another, and actually got my first job out of college because I showed somebody I could write. I can actually produce the full range of projects that support both marketing departments and sales enablement. But my specialty at this time seems to be writing for the web. What I do is I assist my clients in creating, improving, and repurposing their content and their copy.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about, I've heard about this AI utility and I've used it called Chat GPT. Could you just tell us a little bit about it and how it helps or hurts your career, in your opinion?
Well, I see it as a very valuable tool, and they've just done an update to Chat GPT. It's Chat GPT 4, and it can be very useful for things like uh, banishing the blank screen syndrome. It can help you come up with headlines, subject lines for emails. It can do outlining for you. It can give you ideas for your articles or blog posts, things like that. So it gives you a good running start, but it won't do everything that an actual human writer does. It won't know your customer, for example. So it cannot address something directly to your specific audience. And they'll know if they're being sent something that was just uh, a general email or a general script that was written just for anybody. And if you write to everybody, you won't engage with anybody.
So it's not as skilled at the nuances just yet. It's just the beginning point. It's a good draft assistant, if you will, to help you get kicked off. Would you say? How would you
Yeah,
describe?
it is exactly that. It will make a very good writing assistant. It will help with your speed. So it gives you a great running start, and then you go back and do the polishing. You do a bit of research if you need to provide some actual references, because sometimes it comes up with some very strange things,
Oh my.
and you
Uh,
wouldn't like to put that out there.
oh, so it was definitely be something that you would collaborate with.
Oh, definitely. I'm having fun learning to use it. And what I do know is it's only as good, its output is only as good as your input. So you learn to improve on your prompts to get what you really want it to do. So
So
it's
you
only
have
going to
to
be
ask
as good as you are.
So you have to ask it the question correctly to even get your output correct. Is that what
You
it is?
do. You have to tell it exactly what you want from it. And sometimes it takes more than one chance or one time at it for
Okay.
it to give you exactly what you want to see for you to have to only go in and polish it up.
So it's one of those things where you may have to do multiple iterations. You may have to try it a few times in order to get it close to what it is you truly want.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about consulting or order taking. I was fascinated by this idea when you first presented it to me, and I want to know a little bit more about what is that, the consulting versus the order taking.
All right. And I'd like to start by saying if order taking is where your comfort zone is, there is nothing wrong with that. But as I said, my background is actually marketing and sales. So I wouldn't be the person who would come in and say, okay, Miss Customer or Mr. Customer, you said you'd like me to write a blog post on digital marketing. Fine, I can do that. This is how much it would cost. What my approach would be, and it always is tell me something about your business. What is the purpose of this particular project? Because every piece of content and copy should have a function or a purpose and be a part of a strategic marketing plan. So I'd like to get information about where they're trying to go with what they're doing. That would be the difference between, say, someone who would just take your orders because at McDonald's they said, "Would you like fries with that?"
Wanted to ask you, Karen, when you're talking about that, is it advisable? Do you write those strategic marketing plans? Number one, do you ever come up with those plans or do you just align yourself to the existing plan? What do you find has been your experience?
It depends upon the client because there are some who don't even realize that they need a plan. There are some who know that they need one, but they don't have the time to sit down and do that. And they don't have anyone in their organization who does have the time. Say, for example, if you're dealing with a small business owner who has to wear all of the hats. If you've got a larger company, maybe they haven't thought about it, or they have thought about it and just haven't gotten around to it. So I can actually assist with that. It's the same thing with someone who, or a company who has a blog, for example. They may say, well, I need one blog post. That's fine. But how about a full editorial calendar? They may not have the time to do that. I can. I can do the editorial calendar, and I can also research and write the blog posts.
Exactly. Now, what are you finding in the industry right now? Do you feel the industry is looking for more consultants versus the order takers? What are you finding out there right now that since you've been in the industry for quite some time, what are you seeing the trend right now?
I think they tend to value the consultants much more than the order takers because the consultant can, excuse me, can bring ideas. They can expand on ideas that are presented to them and make the job of that marketing manager or that sales manager actually easier. And that's really what I find that people are looking for. If you can make their job easier, then they will come back to you consistently.
Mm. Walk me through what a standard client engagement is like. How does that sales cycle go? Someone finds you on LinkedIn or the internet. How does that normally come to pass?
Well, I've actually gotten some referrals from people that I know, but the first thing that I would do with someone who is considering a working relationship is to have what I would call a discovery call to see exactly what it is they're looking for, what they need. For example, if someone came to me and said, I need to have my homepage rewritten, that's fine. I would ask why they felt that it was needed because I could rewrite the homepage. That's fine, that's easy, but I also can audit the content on their site and perform a function very much like a doctor who gives you an examination, gives you their diagnosis and their prescription for correcting the problem. I do something very similar, which is called a site audit for the content. I provide a report to that client, which consists of the things that I found that may be causing them a problem and the remedies, which I can also provide if that's what they choose.
In terms of content, I'm seeing a move and a shift towards a great deal of video being available. I know that there's money being poured into YouTube for YouTube Shorts and writing scripts for that. I've been relying on something called vidIQ, which leverages ChatGPT to help me with that. What are some of the things you're seeing that the industry seems to be moving towards in terms of video marketing?
Oh, that's not going away. There's
Mm.
more and more of that being done. And there again, you have AI showing up. Um, I just saw something recently called DALI 2, and that's D like David, ALLE with the number two behind it. And I saw it demonstrated with a video program that I have from Video Remix, how you can use the two together. So that's also an interesting uh, concept. And I'm noticing that AI is definitely showing up everywhere. Even Canva has an AI component, as does Designer, which we both talked about earlier, which is an ebook producer. So it's not going anywhere. You have to learn to use it to make it work for you. Don't fear it.
So, with you leveraging AI, you feel that as far as a new skill set, would you say that it's an additional upskill to what you're doing right now?
Oh, definitely. I
So, in
am
the
working very
workforce,
hard at learning to use it in every area that I find it popping up in so far. And so
so
far, it's everywhere.
oh, well, that brought a question to me. So, for workforce development, it's probably a good idea to start investing and understanding it right now, like studying it, seeing how you can leverage it, just testing it out, right?
Learning what it will do for you and learning how best to use it for whatever it is you happen to do. If you're a graphic designer, there's probably an application. Definitely for writers, there's an application.
Hmm.
And it's not going anywhere. It's just not.
There was a concern that that AI would take people's jobs. I see you collaborating with it more than leaning against it. Um, what are some of the ways that people can ensure that they're up on the latest and the greatest? What's the best source of information so they could keep themselves informed on how AI is moving forward? What would you say is the best place to go?
I go a lot of places. I look at HubSpot, I look at the Content Marketing Institute because there's always information out there. There's constant updates, and somebody is always launching something almost daily. And over the last few weeks, there's been AI connected to almost all of it.
I have found a gentleman on Twitter named Hassan, and he sent me a document with 1,000 AI tools on it. And I was floored because I was like, uh oh. And I was going to send it to a friend. She's like, never mind, too much cognitive overload. Please, no, 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 do not, do not send me that.
Oh, I would like to see it because on one of the excuse me, one of the demonstrations that I watched, and it was the one with the Dolly too. The gentleman who did the demo provided a handbook, if you will, of 82 pages of prompts for that, and
Wow.
for another uh, AI tool, I think it's GPT Zine. I think is what that one was called. One of the upsells was 900 plus prompts for that to use with their GPT Zine along with Chat GPT to combine the two.
So I think that we have a trading order that I'm trading tools and you trading prompts. We're looking at that together, perhaps a deal where we
Uh,
do that, where we could swap the information. Um, I wanted to ask you something, Karen. How do people reach you if they want to reach you, and what are some suggested ways that they can improve their writing?
there, I have a couple of different email addresses. They can reach me at consideritvirtual@yahoo.com. That is three words written together, lowercase as one. Consider it virtual@yahoo.com. And if they are reaching out to me as a result of this Restream interview, I'd like them to mention that in the subject line, or Dr. Elwanda would work. I also have another email address, which is charisma5@gmail.com. That's capital KHARYZMA5 at gmail.com. Again, put in the subject line Dr. Elwanda or Dr. Elwanda interview. So I'll be sure to pay attention to it and know that it's not spam.
Yeah, that's one of the things they've said as with the advent of ChatGPT, they've also been spamming people's inbox. Um, how do you get around that as a marketer where people you need opens and clicks that lead to conversions? What are some of the things you're doing to make sure that your messages don't get passed up?
So far, I have been fortunate because my subject line tends to have something in it that would be of interest to the person that I'm writing to. It may be a question on a subject that I know would have interest to them, and especially if that's somebody that I do not know.
So
So I
you have a
haven't.
hook.
My pet hook is a question. That usually piques people's interest, especially if it's on a subject that they are interested in. If you are a marketer and somebody asks you a question about digital marketing, how's that working for you? You would have at least the temptation of opening that because it is connected to something that you do or an interest that you have. Or if somebody asks you or sent you a subject line regarding video marketing, and that is something that you have been considering, you will be more likely to open that email to see what they're talking about if they have information that would be useful to you.
Well, Karen, go on and give everybody the last word.
Well, Dr. Alwanda had asked me before we came on to the interview here what I did to keep my writing fresh. One of the things I would suggest is what was suggested to me is that you write every day, even if you only have a few minutes to do it. You're building those muscles, so you have muscle memory. The more you write, the better you get.
Thank you so much. And we appreciate you and we look forward to visiting with you again, learning more.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day, everybody.
Everyone be well.